Speaking of experience, look, this is going to be Janet Yellen's last congressional testimony before her actual term ends in February. And now we're hearing National Economic Council Director Gary Cohn wants the job, or he's reportedly now the leading candidate to succeed her. Do you think Cohn would be a good pick for chairman of the Federal Reserve?
Yeah, of course, those stories started coming out, I guess, yesterday or last evening. The president should have the right to appoint whoever he wants to appoint to govern the Fed, whether that's Gary Cohn, whether that's Janet Yellen, whether that's somebody else. I've had a limited amount of exposure with Gary Cohn by virtue of being on this committee. I'm impressed, and I think that for the most part, he has given the president good counsel in terms of how the overall operation of the economy should function. I've been very pleased these first 6 months.
Yeah, okay. Rachel.
Congressman, this is Rachel Campos Duffy. My husband, by the way, Sean Duffy, will be at that committee hearing with you on financial services. Right. You mentioned Cohen, Maria, but some people are saying that maybe Donald Trump might keep Yellen. And is there anything that she can say, or is there any, tone difference or something she can do to keep her job?
Well, first of all, I really respect your husband. He does a good job, on the committee and a good job chairing his subcommittee. There's one other question that we need to ask it, and that is, does she want to serve another term? And we don't know the answer to that. I would like to see her pressed on that today, whether, number one, she does want to be reappointed to another four-year term, whether she expects to, and whether she's had any discussions with the president on that. I suspect, as scripted as these answers will be today, that we won't hear very much in the way of that, but hopefully she will be asked about that.
Congressman, do you agree with her plan so far to raise rates in the manner she has?
I think we have to be very cautious about that. We all know that these rates have been artificially low for some period of time. I think that the market, we need to see the market forces operate, but we've been at an artificially low level for a very long period of time, and it's just not conducive, I think, for the market.
So it's time. Let me turn to politics, sir. Donald Trump Jr. is telling Fox News that he probably should have handled things differently when a meeting last year with a Kremlin-linked lawyer came up. Of course, she promised him damaging information about Hillary Clinton. Listen to Donald Trump Jr.'s response.
In retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently. Again, this is before the Russia mania. This is before they were building it up in the press. For me, this was opposition research. They had something, maybe concrete evidence to all the stories I'd been hearing about, but they were probably underreported for, years, not just during the campaign. So I think I wanted to hear it out. But really, it went nowhere, and it was apparent that that wasn't what the meeting was actually about.
So now some Democrats, including Democratic Congressman Seth Moulton, are crying treason. He tweeted this out: "If this isn't treasonous, I'm not sure what is." Your reaction to this treason accusation, sir, from your Democratic colleagues?
Yeah, and not much. And I've got to tell you that, to coin a phrase from our Speaker, Paul Ryan, that we in Congress are able to focus on what we want to focus on. This important legislation, whether it's health care, whether it's Dodd-Frank reform, tax reform.
Right.
We're able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We have investigators. We have committees in the House and the Senate that I'm sure are going to look into all these allegations. If there's anything there, we'll hear about it. But frankly, I was impressed yesterday that Donald Trump Jr. released what appeared to be his entire chain of emails going back and forth from last summer. And from my standpoint, it didn't look like there was anything that was there.
Real quick, so you think you're going to get the agenda done? Are you confident you'll get health care and taxes done this year then? You and your colleagues?
Yeah, I think we've got to, because we're at a unique time. And you think about where we are in our history, having a president of the same party, a House and the Senate. And Maria, when I campaigned last year, all I heard about was repeal and replace Obama.
Exactly. Yes, that's what we're talking about every day. Congressman, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Maria.
David Kustoff.